You've got mail.
Do you remember the 90s?
Come on, Uncle Phil, this is the 90s, man.
Man, it's the 90s. It's hammer time. Come on.
It's the 90s, remember? Microchips, microwaves, faxes, earphones.
Ma, it's the 90s. You can call it what it is.
Yada, yada, yada.
I can be anything I want to be. It's the 90s.
What, are you nuts? This is the 90s. We're gonna sue you.
Wake up and smell the 90s.
How did I go from the verge of hot Floridian sex with Brandy to man of still coital debates with you in the food court?
Cookie stand is not part of the food court.
What, of course it is.
The food court is downstairs. The cookie stand is upstairs. It's not like we're talking quantum physics here.
The cookie stand counts as an eatery. The eateries are part of the food court.
Bullshit. Eateries that operate within the designated square downstairs qualify as food court. Anything outside of said designated square is considered an autonomous unit for mid-mall snacking.
Are we talking about malls in the 90s?
We are talking about malls in the 90s.
Oh, yeah?
Something that
All right.
I think we both know about.
We both have experience
We both
with,
have
yes.
experience with malls.
It was a very 90s thing.
It was a very 90s thing. In fact, well, anyways, hi, I am Dave.
And I'm Cheryl.
And this is Dave.
And Cheryl.
And the 90s. And we're talking about malls today, as you predicted. That was a clip from the movie
Mallrats?
That's right.
I assume.
Have you ever seen Mallrats?
Once.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about it.
I've seen it too many times.
I bet you have.
Yeah, it's a very male movie.
It really is, yeah.
It's a lot of Kevin Smith movies are.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen them all. Once.
Well, so yeah, you talk about that malls are pretty popular. Well, let's talk about the state of malls in the 90s. How about that? Give us a little prepper for our conversation.
They're better. They were better in the 90s than they currently are.
They were certainly
That's for
more
sure.
popular. Mm-hmm. Did you know that the 90s represented the all-time peak of the American shopping mall?
That tracks.
Yeah.
Yep.
If we're looking back, historians, I saw place the total count of active traditional malls and regional shopping centers in the 90s at well over 2,000.
In America.
In America.
Okay.
You would be surprised at how many people are now going back and recording malls, the history of malls, because they are dead now, essentially.
And they were cultural.
During the mid-90s, the United States was in the middle of a shopping mall boom. Developers were constructing around 140 new malls each year before the collapse, obviously, which we will get to, which we all know what happened to malls.
Internet shopping.
Internet shopping, exactly. Internet shopping. And so what I'm going to ask you is, what was your mall?
So my mall in Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, was Fairview Park Mall. It had a Zayres for many years. No, not a Zayres. It had a Zellers for many years, which is similar kind of to like a Target. And then Zellers kind of went away, and I think it was replaced by Walmart. And I think Walmart is still there. We have been to that mall fairly recently. We didn't go this year. We went last year. So it's still there. It's still active. It's just not as significant. So, I mean, I'm from Canada, so all of these places are Canadian stores. So it used to have the Bay, which is one of the biggest department stores that was in Canada.
It's kind of like it's like Canada's Macy's.
Kind of, yeah, but way more historic. Like, it started off as like fur traders.
It was the Hudson Bay Company.
350 years ago. So that was a big one. And our music store was HMV.
Okay.
Or Music World, which my sister worked at that mall in the 80s. And then the bookstore at the mall was Kohl's, and that is the mall store that I worked at in I guess technically early 2000s.
So that's the big thing here. You have firsthand experience.
Working in a mall?
For the second time for our Blockbuster episode.
Yes.
Yes, you were quite the retail. Like,
woo!
Yeah.
It wasn't technically not the 90s, though. Blockbuster was the 90s when I worked there. I worked at the bookstore in the early 2000s.
Yeah. All right. So on my American one, Fort Myers, Florida, it was the Edison Mall.
Which I've been to.
I arrived in Fort Myers in 82, and it was the epicenter of Fort Myers.
Yeah.
And that's not saying much because there's not a lot of draw to Fort Myers. So it was the only place to go for a very long time. And
so Fairview Park Mall in Kitchener is also where the main bus transfer location was.
Oh, you Canadians and all of your nice things like public transit.
Yeah. But there was like the downtown bus station, and then there was Fairview Park Mall, and those were the only places you could do transfers.
I thought we could start off by going in and talking about kind of in the 90s, the anchor stores before we start going off and talking about like smaller ones. So for me, I'm a Southern boy. So some of this stuff might be a little...
Bells?
No bells, but oh my God, great poll. Oh my God, bells.
That was a thing in Florida. I mean, I went to Florida before we got together.
The one that we had that was definitely a Southern thing was called Dillard's.
Oh, yeah, Dillard's. Mm-hmm.
And you've been to the Edison Mall.
Yeah.
I courted you in Fort Myers at the Edison Mall on its last leg. I remember we went to I took you out to some amazing Chili's level dining facilities, probably. Yeah. Dillard's was
I don't think I've ever bought a single thing at Dillard's, ever.
Integrity. Nowadays, you might wonder where that word went. I guess it's just a little harder to find now than it was about 50 years ago when William Dillard was starting his department stores. Today, there are Dillards across the land, but you know what? Mr. Dillard still runs them.
Yeah, it's a Southern Macy's, basically. Then you had J.C. Penney's, which was definitely, it was like next to Sears. Sears and J.C. Penney's were always fighting to see who had like supremacy of the mall, but they always normally anchored the mall on one end or the other.
J.C. Penney had the photo studio.
Now, J.C. Penney's is still around.
It is, surprisingly, because I don't know
Sears
anybody
is not.
who goes to J.C. Penney to actually shop.
Yeah, but Sears is not. Sears is deceased.
Sears was in Canada, and I think Sears was another one of the anchor stores at Fairview Park Mall.
I called my mother to find out if Dillard's. I ran these by them, these anchor stores, and Dillard's is still alive and kicking at the Edison Mall.
Very nice.
I was very surprised by that. So then we had Macy's, obviously, which is obviously the American Hudson Bay Company.
Nothing is the anything Hudson Bay Company. The Hudson Bay Company is its very own thing.
The Hudson Bay Company was like before companies existed almost.
It was before the country existed.
I know, it was crazy. Do you remember Montgomery Ward?
No, that sounds like a made-up name that I heard in movies.
So there's a lot of stores, but I want to go over some of the more like stores that are defined by the 90s. A lot of them maybe came around in the early 80s and maybe still are existing, but they are 90s stores.
So I did semi-prep an episode similar to this a long time ago. And so I did refresh my memory a little bit on like what the Canadian stores of the 90s were. So hopefully I can remember most of them.
Well, I was going to ask you, I said, ladies first, I would like to see if you have a Canadian store to offer.
Well, are we going by like categories?
Well, yes, we actually are going by. I did categorize it. So I have a whole thing.
So you tell me the category.
We're going to start off. I'm going to make this one easy for you. Bookstores.
Okay. Well, so I worked at the Kohl's, which was the last original store from Fairview Park Mall. It's the last store that was there when the mall opened. It's not there anymore. And it has, bookstores. It hasn't been there for a while, but it is the one that lasted the longest from the origin.
I did a tiny history on this. And it goes, apparently W.H. Smith or Smith Books turned into Kohl's.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't understand the corporate structure.
And then
what happened,
Chapters via merger of Kohl's and Smith Books became Chapters, and then Chapters was acquired by Indigo in 2001.
Okay, that sounds pretty close to correct.
So ours was Walden Books.
Yes.
And it was only Walden Books.
Really?
There was no other one. There was no Independent. There was no Barnes & Noble. I would just hang out in the store. They had like the most amazing magazine section.
Right, but they're little stores. So I felt like weird, like hanging by the magazine section, like which was right across from the register.
Oh, not me. That's all I did. I literally would sit on the floor and just like, you know,
I
go
would
to
do
town.
that at a Chapters, but
Yeah.
not at a Kohl's because the Kohl's were tiny.
Yeah, we didn't have a freestanding bookstore, so we only had the mall bookstore. We didn't have until probably, I'd say, the late 90s, early 2000s. We didn't have even a Books A Million or a...
That's right, a Books A Million. That's where I worked when I first moved down to Fort Myers.
That's right. Yeah, the Books A
So that is
Million
another
or
place.
Barnes and Noble. We didn't have that. So
Yeah.
the other big thing about the Walden books, from my geek standpoint, is they were the first major bookseller of manga in the early 90s, and they were the first people to put up like a standee, you know, in the front, and then it became so popular so quickly that they dedicated an entire section in the back.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if it was particular to our store or if it was like a Canadian thing, is we used to have a lot of people that ordered British magazines to be held for them.
Okay, yeah.
So like the really paper thin ones that were like celebrity, like British celebrities.
Like
tabloids, but also like cooking, but also like diet, but like British versions. And so some of these women would collect like 3 or 4 every week or every month, and we'd hold on to them and we'd have them behind the counter. And then when Marge came in, we would like, here's your British magazines.
I mean, that's definitely probably a Canadian thing.
Probably.
I'm sure. You guys did fraternize with the enemy.
Yes, it's true. Now, as someone who worked at a bookstore, should I tell the world about what we did with paperbacks that went unsold?
Sure, go for it. Insider info.
So this is really kind of like sad, but paperbacks, the small size, not like the trade paperbacks that were closer to hardcover size, especially the cheaper, like the Harlequin Romance and the stuff that was very sort of
It's going to yellow on you before you even finish reading it.
totally that.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, you pull books from the shelf if they're not selling, and it is too expensive to return cheap books back to the publisher. So we would literally rip the covers off and throw the books in the trash and send back the covers for credit.
So I've got a story for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a flea market guy, all right? And you go to the flea market and there are
Books with no
nothing
covers.
but books without covers. I would go in there and I would get cardboard. There was a guy who had just he was dumpster diving probably. He had a whole store that was nothing but that.
Yeah.
Magazines, comic books, pulp novels, everything you could ever want. And he would give you a cardboard box and you could fill it up for like $3.
Yeah.
I'd go out there and come out with like 35, 40 comics.
One singular time, I had a manager who allowed me to take as many as I could put into a bag, and I brought them to my dad, who's a voracious reader, but had
That's a fun story.
But literally didn't care what he read.
Yeah.
So he just, I mean, I'm sure he didn't read all of them, but he would like start reading it, and if he liked it, he'd continue. And he was like, "Do you have any more of those free books?" Because he loved free shit. And I was like, "Nope." It was one time only that I was allowed to take them home. So the other, if we're moving on to a different subject, the other thing about bookstores that's weird. So when you have books on a shelf, you need them to fit together fairly tightly, right? You don't want them to be all loosey-goosey. So we did something called fronting them, right? If we had a couple copies of the same book, we would put them cover out so that you could see the cover and be interested or whatever. In the winter, it gets very dry, and the books would like leap off the shelves because they would start to warp. So they would fall. So we're across the store doing our little register closing situation with the money, and we would just hear books like fall onto the ground.
It's haunted.
It was haunted. It felt haunted. But
it's
it
like
was
the beginning of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but it was because of like the weird humidity and the low quality, and the books would warp. So anyway, I think that's interesting.
I wonder if that's how people think like ghosts are in libraries when they say the books.
Maybe.
I've heard like books leaped off of the shelves.
Yeah, it's literally lack of humidity. So.
All right, so I don't know how much we have experience with this next store, but it is quintessentially that's a word.
Quintessentially a?
Yeah, there you go.
It's a Canadian word.
The Disney store.
Welcome to the Disney Store. A special place filled with fun, laughter, excitement, and even a little magic.
I do not have like a lot of memories, but it was everywhere in the 90s. Like tons.
I mean, I remember it.
Yeah, and the thing
It wasn't in Canada, I don't think.
I don't know, to be honest.
But I spent a lot of time in the United States as a kid, so.
Yeah, no, it was capitalizing on the Disney renaissance of the 90s, you know, because of Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and just it is peaking. And let's see, we had 749 locations at its peak. All right. One of the things that I found that was just a hidden gem that I will put on social is somebody uploaded just recently in the last month the entire 25-minute employee instructional tape.
Nice.
It's pretty amazing.
As a cast member at a Disney store, you get to bring that same magic to others in your own hometown.
Hello and welcome to the Disney stores. By now, I'm sure you're all aware that you've joined a very exciting specialty retail concept.
So now I know, what they consider is their large plush pit. Do you remember this?
It was at the back of the store, and it was just like a ton of stuffed animals.
It has a term that they are supposed to, cast members are supposed to call it. Plush Mountain is what it is called. It is largely gone right now. There are only 21 permanent locations that remain.
Well, yeah, because it was all overpriced.
Yeah, I think the only reason we've gone there, we got some stuff when we got kids. Every once in a while, we buy a few things. I mean, they have some cute stuff. The big thing about them was that they had exclusive items.
Sure.
And that was kind of...
If you cared about that, that's the place to go.
But the people who care about getting exclusive stuff is really Disney. Now, the one that I really wanted, and it was not nearly as amazing, was the Warner Brothers store.
I was going to ask about that.
The Warner Brothers Studio Stores, a dazzling shopping environment that embodies the magic of the Warner Brothers Studio family.
They had like TCM stuff. They had old MGM Hollywood. They had Looney Tunes. They had all of the DC like superhero stuff. And the things that they had were really exclusive because they would go with the artists and commission actual artwork, actual statues, and like they had real cells. They had stuff that was signed by Chuck Jones in there. It was almost like a good Planet Hollywood.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, that's as exclusive as the American Girl doll store.
Well, another still around, surprisingly, still very popular and expanding, Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah, I didn't think it was worthy of survival in the 90s. I don't know why it's still around.
No, and it's successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Spencer's Gifts, okay. Spencer's Gifts started as a mail order catalog in 1947. Normally it did novelties and like gag gifts, that type of stuff. It was a rite of passage for teens back in the day.
We had something in Canada called the It Store.
Okay.
Which is kind of closer to like Hot Topic. Because it was always like a little bit raunchy, a little bit sexual. What's the other store that's like Spencer's, but it's
Hot Topic.
Is it Hot Topic?
Yeah, Hot Topic and Spencer's are basically, it's like one birthed the other.
I see. So we had the It Store. It was equivalent to those.
Can you guess the thing that made Spencer's and Hot Topic different?
No.
Sex toys.
Spencer's had sex toys?
That was
At
the
the
thing.
mall?
That was the thing about Spencer's. The rite of passage thing with
raunchy.
being a teen is you would go in and it had all these like band T-shirts, and also it was the place for goths to go.
Right. Yeah.
Because you could go in there and get all
just
of
like Hot Topic is now.
Yeah, just like it is now. But this was the only place before Hot Topic. But if you went in, it didn't have anything. It didn't have like, you know, real sex toys and stuff. But it had like the stuff you'd go if you were an experimenting suburban, couple, sex dice, furry handcuffs.
Oh, so they're not actual sex toys.
They had like lube and stuff, and they had a lot of novelty stuff that was like little wind up, little bobbing penis things and stuff, and like weird, and lots of pot stuff there.
Yeah.
And if you specifically
counterculture.
And I remember too, if you were daring enough to go all the way to the back, they had a whole thing of all of these posters that you could look at of women in certain levels of
And this
undress.
was Spencer's?
Yes.
See, I think of Spencer's
It
as
was
such a like middle-aged man kind of like goof store.
Oh no! In the 90s, it was quite the experience to get in there. It was almost beaded curtains.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It now operates over 630 locations across America and Canada. So it is in Canada. It remains one of the staples that is still standing from the 90s.
Everybody likes sex.
All right, so I want to know if this is a Southern thing. You talked about the J.C. Penney's photo shop that they had, the photo center there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Glamour Shots?
Of course. Glamour Shots was in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it was a place where they would do like your hair and makeup in a very glamorous way. Yes. And it made 14-year-old girls look like 45-year-old women.
Experience the thrill of a lifetime at Glamour Shots High Fashion Photography. Glamour Shots will create your exciting new look as our expert stylists pamper you with a full makeover and hairstyling. Be a model for a day, dress in the latest fashions and accessories, and star in an exciting photo session with a professional photographer.
And they would have like one-size-fits-all kind of clothing that you could put on, or like scarves or jewelry, or
They definitely had the blossom hats.
oh yeah, definitely had
boas, lots of
feathers,
tool
softness,
and also too, they were known for their signature retouching process.
Oh, okay.
And they are known for their hazy filters.
Yes.
It was like they
It was
took
like Instagram before Instagram.
Yeah. They took all the filters that they shot all the old Hollywood movie stars on. They just like just didn't rub off the Vaseline on it or something.
And now it's accessible to everybody.
Are they still around?
Glamour Shots?
Yeah.
Not in Canada.
Not
There's
in Canada.
standards.
So, yes or no?
Probably.
Yeah. The last one closed on February 6th of this year.
In where?
In
Utah?
New Jersey. At the Freehold Raceway Mall.
I wonder if they were still doing the same hair and makeup as the 90s.
So I read an entire article about this because somebody went in. Of course, it was like the last Blockbuster or something. So someone went. The entire town of women who had been at this place, it had been a 30-year-old store, came and had like a last like shooting party, and the woman who ran the place just gave out free photos because it's all digital now anyways. Yeah, sure. And they all came and they brought like their original pictures and they posed the same way, and it was adorable. It was like this wonderful thing, and it was like the end of an era. They closed down.
It was a sort of singular thing. Like it was the only version of whatever that was.
It was the only thing that had this aesthetic, and it was like it knew what it was, and it never changed. Yeah. All right, so arcades, we had 3 in America. They were Tilt, Aladdin's Castle, and Time Out.
No, we didn't have any of those.
Coming into the 90s, essentially, they're kind of a graveyard because Nintendo had come out. Everyone had consoles at their house.
Yep.
And Super Nintendo came out. And then in 1992, Street Fighter 2 came out. And it
only in the console though?
No,
or only
into the arcades.
Yeah.
And the thing that was kind of really interesting about it was it's a phenomenon that you go to play at an arcade and you're by yourself. Mm-hmm. All right. This was a fighting game, so it was competitive, and it started becoming a spectator sport. People would hang around, and there would be huge crowds, and they would actually became this communal thing. It basically single-handedly made a second golden age. Arcades would order and put in rows of Street Fighter 2. They'd put them back to back.
Yeah.
And they would even put quarters. They had this fun. It was like an etiquette that you had. You'd put your quarters on the bottom of the screen to be the next player. And they actually
I've seen movies that show that.
Well, but they started. It became so formalized that they actually started to create these molds that they put down there that actually had little cutouts to formally put them in it because it just became a thing. I couldn't believe this number. It generated 10 to 11 billion dollars in total arcade revenue during 1991 and 1995.
That's crazy.
And this is one singular game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think our mall had an arcade. I can't think of an arcade anywhere in Kitchener.
they're essentially.
Sorry to just shut that down. We just don't have arcades in Canada, I guess.
I like that. Arcades? No.
No. None.
I mean, you
Next.
You weren't an arcade person anyways, I'm
no,
sure.
and so it could have just been fully off my radar. I did have a Nintendo, but I've mentioned multiple times in this actual episode, my parents were cheap. So
that is part of it. You
so
had to be able
wasteful.
to get money from it.
Yeah.
Is completely wasteful. Nowadays, I wouldn't let any kid even near what they would consider to be some little corner arcade in like a dirt mall, because it's just sketchy. And that was the perception all throughout the 80s and everything too. So, okay, we're going to go food court.
Okay.
What is your food of choice when you went to the food court?
Let me remind you again.
My
parents were cheap.
Okay.
I did not go to the mall necessarily with money. I went there to socialize and watch my friends buy things. However, most malls did have New York Fries, which I believe is a Canadian company.
Yeah, it's like Boston Pizza.
And it served poutine, like decently good fast food poutine. So that is definitely a highlight. Otherwise, I think we had a lot of the same things. We did have a specific chocolate store called Laura Secord, which is a Canadian chocolatier. And that store was not in the food court, but it was in most malls to like purchase fancy chocolates.
I did not eat at the food courts a lot. I mall food, I don't know. It just didn't agree with me. I wasn't. And also, it was always too expensive for me.
Well, exactly.
That would be my thing. So did you have a place that sold the giant cookies?
Mrs. Fields?
No. Okay, so there was a place that we had that you obviously didn't have called the Great American Cookie Store.
Correct. We did not have that.
Yes. I'm pretty sure it was completely a mom and pop place in the Edison Mall, but I have seen this phenomena of giant 16-inch round cookies. Basically, imagine a 16-inch pizza pie, but it's a cookie. And they would decorate it with icing like a cake. And for your birthday, if you were the coolest person, you'd get a cookie cake.
I feel like I've eaten a cookie cake like once. Must have been the cool kid's birthday party that I was invited to. But I can't think of like the name of the place where that would have been from.
I remember coming in and it would have this glass case and it would have them all in there. And the store was not very large and the cookies were huge. So they'd only have like 3 or 4 on there. But just the sheer size of the cookie always just drew me to it. I was fascinated with this.
Your physical representation of the size of this cookie is hysterical because I know that they were not that large.
In my heart, they were this big.
Yes.
And I got them 3 times for my birthday.
Oh, jealous.
And I knew they weren't that expensive. In fact, they were probably cheaper than like a personalized sheet cake. But I knew that my parents had to drive all the way across town to the mall and go get it.
I see.
So
my mom would
I
bake
was
my
loved.
cake, so I was loved too.
Oh yeah, no. My parents would normally do that, but that's how I knew.
You know how I knew that I was loved? When I was going through my like awkward goth stage, my parents got me a cake that was iced in black. Honestly, it is one of the few times in my childhood that I felt seen by my parents.
Aw.
So that was nice.
You did mention Mrs. Fields. I never understood the phenomenon.
I've never had a Mrs. Fields cookie.
Of paying like $6 for a bag of cookies at a mall.
Yeah,
like
or pretzels. Wetzel's pretzels, don't care about that.
No, Auntie Annie's or something.
Yeah,
Auntie Annie's, yeah. Orange Julius, never had one.
Who cares? Yeah.
But it is a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
A frothy, creamy fruit smoothie.
Yum.
And then the big one that I went to a lot, Sbarro's.
Sbarro, that's pizza, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it was pizza. Those. Yeah, Sbarro's. It was like a pizza restaurant. It was a large sit-down restaurant inside the mall.
I can't think.
And Stromboli. They had Stromboli and calzones.
I'm just trying to think. So I did work in a mall for a couple of years in the early 2000s. I think I just always brought food because my parents raised me to be cheap and I was making terrible money.
Well,
so
if you're working there too, I mean, you can only eat so much of that mall food before you just like turn in the mall food.
Well, but also my university where I spent the late 90s had like a food court. Like it had a lot of different places to buy food, but one of them was like a food court and there was like legit KFC, frozen yogurt, like probably Sbarro and blah.
Yeah.
It's gross.
All right, so I'm gonna lean on you for this one. because I did not. I went to the mall to watch cartoons fight each other in an arcade and to go look at sexy pictures of ladies in the back of a Spencer's.
Of course.
But fashion and apparel.
So this is where I have to like dig deep for my Canadian memories. So there was a place called Le Chateau, the house, I guess would be the translation. And it was very trendy.
Is it fancier because it's French? Is that in the title?
I mean, no, it's like Forever 21, but like it's Canadian, and I was poor, and I wasn't poor. I had no money.
I was not shopping for clothes at the mall. I'll tell you that right now.
Where did you shop for clothes?
Well, just like,
your brother's closet.
Department stores. My brother, hand-me-downs, a lot of them. But I would go to department stores. You go to your Rosses or things like that.
So Le Chateau was a big one. I don't know if it's still around, but it is distinctly Canadian. There's a store called Smart Set, which I did buy stuff from. I don't know if it's still around. There was a place called Varnet, Vuarnet or something. And it was like a specific t-shirt that all of the girls had, and I never had it, but one of my friends did. So I think I got to borrow it like once. Then there was Cotton Ginny, which was, I think it was Canadian, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like kind of a precursor to like Old Navy in that it was like kind of comfortable, casual, classic sort of.
But like not too expensive.
Not too expensive, no. Then there was Beaver Canoe, which is definitely...
Get out.
Yeah. I had a sweatshirt that said Beaver Canoe on it. I think it was bought up by Roots because occasionally you'll see Beaver Canoe stuff at the Roots stores. I never shopped at Roots. Roots existed because I think it started in 1977. It was always around, but I very much did not have the money to shop at Roots. I like it, and I'm a grown up and I have a job, so I buy it when I want to. But I question it every time I do.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, Canadian money's not real. So then I just
Can I run some American mall fashion stores by?
Oh, and if I recognize them?
Well, I think you'll recognize them. I wondered if you had, I think. So the one that I saw, apparently that had the biggest influence on 90s fashion was the Limited.
I've never shopped at the Limited.
Mm-hmm.
That is like a made up name that I saw in movies.
Apparently, it is known for its wide leg pants and casual wear.
Cool. I don't think I've stepped inside a Limited.
Okay. Wet Seal?
I've heard of it. I've never shopped there.
So this one, maybe you'd remember. You know Gadzooks?
It sounds like a place that I've seen from far away.
It was the streetwear store.
I was not shopping for streetwear in the 90s.
Graphics, tees, all that stuff. That was the one that I remember. I remember Gadzooks because it had this it looked like all graffitied the front of it, and it had
I was shopping for clothes that made 17-year-old me look like the age I currently am, which is not 17 anymore.
And now you guys had Gap in Canada, correct?
Not at first.
Not at first.
Not at first. It showed up eventually.
If you could afford it, Gap was the thing. It was just khakis, khakis, khakis.
Yes, there was a lot of that. And then Old Navy came in too. I remember the early Old Navy
Banana Republic
commercials.
was like the
so
tier.
They're all in Canada now, but they didn't start there. It evolved.
All right, I'm going to play a clip. I want you to tell me what you think this is. So what is happening in that?
Is that
clip?
Black Friday?
That is Black Friday.
Woo!
That
Before
is right.
the internet.
That is true. Before the internet, when people had to go out and fist fight to get the latest things, not just see that it was sold out instantly in their carts.
Yep. I only did Black Friday a couple times in the early 2000s with my sister in Florida.
Black Friday, we still kind of have it, but it's online. But I don't think people understood the idea of the doorbuster sales.
Right.
The opening, stores would open at midnight. Some of them would open up at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And you had to be there. People would
stand in line for hours.
Stand in line for hours, or some people would even put tents and they would sleep out there just so they could be
at least lawn chairs. Yeah,
they could be the first people in the door to be able to get
their giant TV.
a giant TV that they
camcorder.
They would advertise the electronics, and they only had a couple of them, and they were
But they got you in the door.
They got you in the door, and you could, if you were like the first like 4 or 5 people in, you'd get them for $100 or whatever.
I did not ever one singular time participate in Black Friday in Canada. A, because it's cold, and B, because Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving in America.
Yes.
So it's just a normal day in Canada.
So our thing was, I remember we would go out, and on that day you get the newspaper.
Yes.
And the newspaper was about triple the size because it was just chock full of circulars.
Yes.
And we would put them all out on the table and strategize who was going where, who was buying what, and what was our plan for consumer shopping on that day.
Yeah, capitalism.
Oh yeah, it was
I do
terrible.
have memories of that. I didn't obviously
we went
do
together.
it every year. We
went to Best Buy and stood outside Best Buy. I don't think we bought a damn thing.
Probably not. But like I said, I've only done it a couple times, but I have been in the United States for Thanksgiving a few years. Now, can I tell you a story about something similar in Canada that actually is like 80s?
Okay.
So Cabbage Patch Kid dolls.
Okay.
Were very, very popular.
Yes.
And they were hard to get a hold of.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a store called Highway Market.
Highway Market.
Highway Market.
Okay.
Not like the road, highway, like Hiway.
Oh, okay.
And it would be very familiar to anybody from Kitchener, but I do have like specific memories of seeing on the news them at Highway Market and people like fighting over Cabbage Patch Kid dolls.
What I was just showing you, or what I was playing for you, that audio was people were pressed against the doors, and there's always the poor employee who has to like draw a straw and go up there and unlock the door, and he's walked over, and then you see them all hitting an escalator, and 2 people go down it, and people keep walking over top of them.
Yeah, it's gross.
It was a gross phenomenon.
Thank God for the internet.
So some of those big things, what was the quintessential
TV?
No, the quintessential, like, we're fighting for this item every season. There were
Not
a couple of them in the 90s. No, there were like kind of like the Cabbage Patch doll. There were certain things. Furbies, ding, ding, ding. What else? What's the real cliche one? The big one. It was a toy.
Tickle Me Elmo.
The Tickle Me Elmo. That's right. The Tickle Me Elmo was the one where you actually saw people, like, they'd make pyramids of them, and people were diving on them, punching each other.
Thank God I was neither a child nor a parent during those years.
Another one, apparently the Nintendo 64. I saw some videos.
Okay.
There was a scarcity on that as well, and people were like taking this giant brick of a console and beating each other over the head with it.
Luckily, I've never been an early adopter of any technology, so I will just wait until it's readily available.
All right, so what was the movie, the 1996 Hollywood blockbuster flop that was inspired by the Black Friday scarcity phenomenon?
I mean, wasn't that in our Arnold Schwarzenegger episode?
It was.
And has it escaped my brain because it's not useful information to me currently? Yes.
It is Jingle All the Way, 1996. Yes. That's right. Now imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now imagine he gets mail under the name Howard Langstrom.
Yeah. Yep.
He is desperately hunting for a sold-out Turbo Man action figure.
Yes.
Hey, everybody! These 2 are looking for a Turbo Man!
Shut up, man!
Now, what's so funny?
Where have you guys been? Turbo Man's only the hottest selling Christmas toy ever.
Where do you think the location was that they shot the Jingle All the Way?
Fort Myers, Florida.
No. The Mall of America. The ultimate mall of the 90s.
I remember when that was such a big deal, the Mall of America. Didn't it open in the 90s?
It did.
Minneapolis, right?
It opened in the 90s in Minnesota, Bloomington.
Oh, yes.
Bloomington. The grand opening was on August 11th, 1992 in Bloomington, Minnesota. Let's have...
Here's a fun fact first before we continue. My uncle, who married into our family, had a jewelry store at the Mall of America.
Wow.
Yeah.
I imagine the beginning, I bet it was probably hard to get something.
I don't know if he
there,
had it right
like
from the beginning, but he had a jewelry store in the Mall of America.
All right. So it is 4.2 million square feet in total size.
That's nothing.
It is about 2.5 million square feet of retail space, 330 stores with 10,000 employees. It is the largest mall in the United States, the largest in the Western Hemisphere, and the 12th largest in the entire world.
Still.
Okay. It cost approximately how many millions of dollars to build?
500.
$650 million to build.
In 1992?
It was constructed over a decade from 1982 to 1992.
Wow.
And let's play a clip from the souvenir video that you could purchase on VHS for a whopping $20 to commemorate
your time at the Mall of America.
Your
I know
time
that
at
they had a roller coaster.
Welcome to the greatest adventure you can have under one roof. Mall of America here in Bloomington, Minnesota, USA.
It may look like a mega-sized shopping mall, and it is. This building could hold 7 Yankee baseball stadiums.
It's also a place for people who want to meet other people. To buy an engagement ring, wedding dress, and tux. Even a place to get married. Find maternity clothes.
But it's also a place for people who want to exercise, for people who want to have a unique dining experience, an underwater experience, or a way above ground experience.
So I love that in the souvenir video, they talk about you can get married, buy paternity clothes.
Maternity.
Or maternity. Paternity
Usually
clothes.
when you become a dad, your body doesn't
Your
change.
pants are the father. Yeah. No, but like of all the things they could talk about that you could do is to buy maternity clothes, get married, and become a mall and get exercise by being a mall walker.
Yeah.
And go to the Rainforest Cafe where it has a close-up of a person sitting down in a zebra butt chair.
Why else would you go? Have you ever been?
Culture. No, I've never been there. One of the surprising features of the mall is there's no central heating at all. Apparently, the combination of the skylights, the lighting, and the shoppers and the ride machinery generate enough heat to keep temperatures comfortable all year round.
Clever. I bet the air conditioning bill is enormous.
It gets cold there. That's the thing, too. Operating attractions on the first year, the centerpiece of the mall, Camp Snoopy.
Oh.
The center of the mall is an entire amusement park.
Yeah.
Okay, so it had the Pepsi Orange Streak roller coaster, a working log chute flume ride, like a wet ride, splash ride. They had balloon races. They had a tilt-a-whirl, an indoor Ferris wheel that was 4 stories tall. It was all located in the middle of the mall, and everything was built around it in kind of consecutive rings.
Okay.
All right. It also had an underwater adventure aquarium that they built in 1996.
Okay.
By September 2005, the 4th floor of the mall was largely vacant, except for the tenants Hooters and a movie theater that was half open. So
yeah, it's a big investment for something that's now dying.
So the Mall of America was used for filming locations for various movies, as we mentioned, Jingle All the Way being one of them. The other ones being The Mighty Ducks 2 or D2. And then D3, The Mighty Ducks in 1996, Jingle All the Way also in 1996. And I'm going to play a clip right now from You're Invited to Mary-Kate and Ashley's Mall Party in 1997.
Everybody come down to the mall, yeah. It's a party, come on, everybody. Instant party when you're at the mall, yeah. Everybody come on, instant party.
They cannot sing.
So this is an hour-long infomercial for the mall.
I bet.
So much so that they're just walking around actually saying, like, look at the Lego place. Look at this amazing place where you can get these cookies. And it's like they just are just walking from one store to the next and popping out of places.
I bet there's no parents at all.
There's one person who's like an older sister, like college age, who just happens to be like their best friend, just so they can say they're being supervised.
Yeah.
But she just lets them go off wherever they want and joins them in all of their songs.
Living the dream.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, meet our cousin, Jamie.
Hi. Will you girls have your mall party? I'm going to go shop for shoes.
as of September 2025, approximately 32 million people have visited the Mall of America annually.
Every year.
Every year.
So not total. Okay.
Annually. Yeah.
Annually.
All right. So we're now at the part of what are they used for now? What are malls used for now? So I was looking up some of this, and
no idea.
Children's bounce parks. They're basically used for things that are like big space now.
Yeah.
So now it's a lot of children's bounce parks, mini golf, climbing gyms, tons of slime factories, pottery painting studios. It's in the one that I really love, escape rooms, and some of the like jankiest VR. You want to wipe down those headset experiences.
Right. Well, I mean, there are things that you have to do in person because online shopping.
By the late 90s, e-commerce basically has gutted out the malls. And today, in 2025, the number of active traditional and closed malls has dropped significantly to roughly only 700 nationwide.
Well, there's also been a
from
trend.
3,000 at its peak.
There's been a trend of outlet malls. I don't think outlet malls were nearly a thing in the 90s as they are now, which is like a fake concept, but people go there. And I think there's a lot more outdoor malls where like the hallways are outdoors. They're covered oftentimes, but
That's like the trend now. I was going to say the big trend now is that you can still go inside, but they started actually building shops that faced outside.
Yeah.
And they started putting like areas out there because people wanted to be able to walk around, because the inside of these malls started to become like run down.
Yeah.
And like kind of claustrophobic. They weren't updating them, and half of them look like prisons from like the 90s.
Yeah.
They're not like fun places to hang.
There is a fun episode of Abbott Elementary recently.
Oh, that's right.
Where the school had problems, and so they had to move to a local mall for several episodes, and that was pretty funny. What was your favorite store at your mall?
Oh, geez. Favorite store. So, well, my favorite I didn't actually talk about. They had, before like GameStop and all of those places, they actually had a computer electronic store called Electronic Boutique, and called Babbage's, and then Electronic Boutique. And they eventually turned into GameStop. But it was a place not unlike Radio Shack. You didn't go into Radio Shack unless you were looking to either make a bomb or like program a computer. This was a place you go in and it was nothing but like computer stuff. Nintendo, get out of here. So when you walked in, you found your people. What about you?
I mean, HMV was pretty good. That was the music store. There's also a music store called Music World.
Music World?
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, you did. My sister worked there. She also worked at a place called Baronessa. So she has more experience working at the mall in Kitchener than
You
I
can't
did.
just throw that out. What is Baronessa?
It's like a fashion handbag kind of store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Baroness.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, Beta, which is a shoe store. I don't know if it still exists, but it was there.
I mean, my thing is that I didn't even have like a car for the early 90s. So when I went, I only went when like my parents or a friend took us.
Yeah.
And then when I got a car, I could go on my own and hang out.
Well, I never had a car when I was living in that city. So I got dropped off a lot and
So
hung out with friends.
a lot of my stuff was, we never even talked about like the coffee culture.
Oh, back in the day, Tim Hortons was not in malls.
Oh, it's only okay.
It was only standalones. So most of the coffee in Canadian malls was the second cup.
Oh yeah. We didn't have Starbucks in the malls as well.
Right.
It was always some like different chain or something, like mom and pop place.
Yeah.
It was cafes. It was like coffee cafes.
But yeah, I didn't really do. I've never been a person who's big on buying coffee because it's overpriced. Going to the mall in the 90s was only sort of fun because I didn't have any money. So,
see, I didn't let that stop me. Like, I just went there just to hang out.
I mean, so did I.
Yeah.
It's less fun when you don't have money.
You got to nurse. I would just get that coffee and just walk around and nurse it all day.
So I currently enjoy malls more than I did in the 90s because now I have money.
Even though they're lamer?
Yes. I can buy things now. I mean, there's definitely a nostalgia to the malls and the stores that we grew up with, but I like having money.
All right. Well, we make so much money from this podcast. Obviously,
So
we are
much.
podcast rich.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, the audience, who have listened all the way through
We've
this
made
exciting
$0, by the way.
episode. But all right. So this has been Dave
And Cheryl.
and the 90s. I'll see you at the mall.
What's up, boys?
So what do you guys want to do today?
Dude, you want to crash the mall?
Nice.
Okay.
Got a favorite 90s moment or topic you want us to dive into? We'd love to hear about it. If you think we got everything wrong, we'd love to hear about that too. Drop us an email at andthe90spod@gmail.com, link in the episode description, and you can be damn sure that we'll read your comments on the show. Also, if you're digging the show, please rate, comment, subscribe, and tell everyone you know to check us out. It really does make a difference. Till next time, remember, we're nostalgia for the olds and education for the youths.